So let's touch on a few more key players briefly. What about growth?
That brings us to growth hormone, or GH, also known as somatotropin. This crucial hormone is secreted by the anterior pituitary gland and is absolutely essential for normal body growth, particularly from birth through puberty.
Drives growth.
How? It stimulates RNA and protein synthesis, mobilizes fatty acids, basically providing the building blocks and energy for growth. Many of its effects are actually mediated through other factors called somatomedins, like IGF-1, insulin-like growth factor 1. It's often measured alongside or instead of GH because GH release is very pulsatile, making random GH levels hard to interpret. IGF-1 levels are more stable and reflect average GH activity.
Okay, so what conditions involve GH?
Clinically, increased GH, especially if sustained, can indicate acromegaly in adults that's characterized by enlargement of hands, feet, facial features, or gigantism in children if it occurs before growth plates close.
Too much growth and too little.
Decreased GH might point to congenital GH deficiency, leading to dwarfism or short stature and delayed sexual maturity.
Okay, what about hormones related to fertility?
Key players there are follicle-stimulating hormone, or FSH, and luteinizing hormone, LH, both also from the anterior pituitary. Let's focus on FSH.
Okay, FSH, what does it do?
In women, FSH promotes the maturation of ovarian follicles, the little sacs containing eggs. These maturing follicles then produce estrogen. FSH works together with LH to ultimately help induce ovulation.
Essential for the menstrual cycle, and in men.
In men, FSH is essential for stimulating spermatogenesis, the production of sperm in the testes.
Crucial for both sexes. What do FSH levels tell us?
High FSH levels, especially in women, can indicate primary ovarian failure. The ovaries aren't responding. This is characteristic of menopause. The pituitary sends out lots of SSH, trying to stimulate unresponsive ovaries.
High FSH ovaries not working, like menopause.
Often, yes.
Yeah.
Decreased FSH, on the other hand, might suggest secondary issues, like problems with the pituitary or hypothalamus, leading to hypogonadotropism where the signals aren't being sent properly. FSH is a cornerstone in evaluating infertility and menstrual disorders.
Got it. What about prolactin? I hear that mentioned with pituitary issues.
Yes. Prolactin, or PRL, is yet another hormone from the anterior pituitary. Its primary, well-known role is to promote breast tissue growth and to initiate and maintain milk production after childbirth.
The milk hormone.
That's the one. Its role in males is less clear, but it is present. Prolactin levels naturally increase during sleep, with breast stimulation, pregnancy, nursing, and also under stress.
What if prolactin is high when it shouldn't be?
When prolactin levels are significantly increased, a condition called hyperprolactinemia, it can interfere with reproductive function. It can be linked to conditions like primary hypothyroidism or polycystic ovaries. But very high levels, say over 200 or 300 ng/ml, are often considered almost pathognomonic, meaning highly specific, for a prolactin-secreting pituitary tumor, a prolactinoma.
A tumor making prolactin.
Yes. A high prolactin can suppress the hormones needed for ovulation, LH and FSH, leading to irregular periods, infertility, and sometimes galactorrhea, inappropriate milk production. So measuring prolactin is key for monitoring these pituitary adenomas and investigating those kinds of symptoms.
Okay, let's quickly cover the main sex steroids. Progesterone.
Progesterone is a crucial steroid hormone. In non-pregnant women after ovulation, it's primarily secreted by the corpus luteum, the remnant of the ovarian follicle. Its main job is to prepare the uterine lining, the endometrium, for potential implantation of a fertilized ovum.
Prepares for pregnancy.
Exactly. During pregnancy, the placenta takes over and produces large amounts of progesterone to help maintain the pregnancy, preventing uterine contractions.
What do levels tell us?
Increased progesterone levels are, of course, normally seen after ovulation and during pregnancy. Abnormally high levels might indicate certain ovarian cysts or adrenal issues. Conversely, decreased progesterone can signal problems like an impending miscarriage or anovulatory cycles where ovulation didn't occur. Low levels in the second half of the cycle suggest a problem with the corpus luteum, which can impact fertility. It's used diagnostically to confirm ovulation and assess placental function.
Makes sense. How about estradiol?
Estradiol, or E2, is the most potent and predominant estrogen in women of reproductive age. It's primarily produced by the developing ovarian follicles. Under the stimulation of FSH and LH, levels typically peak just before ovulation.
The main estrogen?
Pretty much. Some is also made by the adrenal cortex and in peripheral tissues. Increased estradiol can be seen in certain ovarian neoplasms or conditions like PCOS sometimes. Decreased estradiol is characteristic of menopause, ovarian hypofunction, or problems with pituitary signaling. Low levels can contribute to symptoms like hot flashes and increase the risk of osteoporosis.
So it's key for menstrual cycles and female characteristics.
Absolutely. It's a key marker in evaluating menstrual and fertility problems, menopausal status, and sexual maturity. It's often measured alongside LH, FSH, and progesterone to get a full picture of the hormonal cycle.
Okay, last one, testosterone.
Testosterone is the primary androgen, or male sex hormone, although women produce small amounts too. In men, about 95% of it comes from the Leydig cells in the testicles, stimulated by LH.
And in women?
In women, it's produced in smaller amounts by the ovaries and the adrenal glands, and also through conversion of other hormones in peripheral tissues.
What's its main role?
Physiologically, in men, testosterone stimulates spermatogenesis and is responsible for the development and maintenance of male secondary sex characteristics: deep voice, muscle mass, body hair patterns.
What about abnormal levels? High testosterone.
When testosterone levels are increased in young males, it can cause precocious puberty, potentially due to testicular or adrenal tumors. In females, overproduction leads to masculinization, often presenting as amenorrhea, loss of periods, and hirsutism, excess hair growth. This can be caused by ovarian or adrenal tumors or hyperplasia, and it's a common feature of polycystic ovarian syndrome.
PCOS.
PCOS often involves high androgens and low testosterone.
Decreased testosterone in males suggests hypogonadism, which could be primary testicular failure like in Klinefelter syndrome, or secondary pituitary deficiency leading to low LH-FSH signals. Symptoms can include reduced libido, fatigue, muscle loss, and infertility.
How is it used diagnostically? Testosterone levels are measured to evaluate ambiguous sex characteristics, precocious puberty, virilizing syndromes in females, and infertility, or symptoms of low T in males. It can also be a tumor marker for rare ovarian or testicular tumors. So, after covering all those individual hormones and tests, what's truly fascinating, I think, is how clearly they correlate. How the different glucose tests, for instance, really work together to paint that diagnostic picture. It's like fitting pieces of a puzzle together.
Right. It's not just one number in isolation.
Exactly. A fasting blood sugar at or above 126 milli-GDL, a random sugar over 200 with symptoms, a 2-hour post-challenge glucose of 200 or higher on an OGTT, or that long-term marker, the HbA1c, being 6.5% or greater.
All pointing towards diabetes.
They're all critical signals potentially indicating diabetes.
Yeah.
They're not just isolated numbers, but it's like a chorus of your body's messengers telling a consistent story, usually.
And these high glucose levels we know are directly caused by either that lack of insulin, like in type 1, or the insulin not working effectively, that resistance in type 2.
Precisely. And remember, they can often be exacerbated by those counter-regulatory hormones we discussed earlier: glucagon, cortisol, epinephrine, growth hormone. These hormones are implicated in conditions like acute stress, Cushing's syndrome, acromegaly, and even gestational diabetes, all of which can independently push blood glucose levels higher.
And C-peptide fits in here too, right?
Perfectly. C-peptide levels directly correlate with natural insulin production. They'll be low or absent in type 1 diabetes, but often normal or even high in type 2, especially early on, directly reflecting the pancreas's effort against insulin resistance.
Okay, let's connect the dots for the thyroid. That feedback loop seems key.
It absolutely is. The inverse relationship between TSH and the free T3, T4 levels is really a foundational diagnostic correlation. It's a masterclass in the body's self-regulation.
So recap that correlation.
Elevated TSH with low free T3, T4. That unequivocally points to primary hypothyroidism. The thyroid gland itself is failing. Conversely, if TSH is low or suppressed and free T3, T4 levels are high, that indicates primary hyperthyroidism. The thyroid gland is overactive.
Okay.
And if you see both low TSH and low free T3, T4, the problem likely originates higher up, with the pituitary gland not sending the signal that's secondary hypothyroidism. Understanding this dance tells us that even subtle shifts in one part of this axis can ripple right through your metabolism.
That feedback mechanism is so powerful diagnostically. Okay, how does the parathyroid and calcium correlate? You mentioned PTH is the main player.
PTH is the primary correlating hormone for calcium and phosphate balance. The patterns are usually quite clear. If you have high PTH with high calcium, that strongly suggests primary hyperparathyroidism, most often due to a parathyroid adenoma.
High PTH, high calcium, primary hyperpara.
Correct. But if you have high PTH with low or maybe normal calcium, that points towards secondary hyperparathyroidism. The parathyroids are working overtime, but it's a response to something else causing low calcium, like chronic kidney disease or vitamin D deficiency.
Ah, the reason for high PTH is different.
Exactly. And logically, if you have low PTH levels, you'll typically see low calcium and high phosphate. Those are the hallmarks of hypoparathyroidism.
Okay, clear correlations there. What about the adrenals? ACTH and cortisol.
For adrenal function, that correlation between ACTH and cortisol is absolutely central. If you see high ACTH coupled with low cortisol, that's a strong indicator of primary adrenal insufficiency, Addison's disease. The adrenals aren't responding to the pituitary signal.
High signal, low output equals primary failure.
Yes. Conversely, low ACTH with high cortisol often suggests an adrenal tumor or adrenal hyperplasia. The adrenal gland is autonomously overproducing cortisol, which then suppresses the pituitary's ACTH release.
Low signal, high output adrenal autonomy.
That's the pattern. And remember that extremely high ACTH, usually over 200 pg/ml, that strongly correlates with an ectopic source, like a lung tumor making ACTH. The ACTH stimulation test then helps confirm these relationships. A lack of cortisol increase points to Addison's, while a normal or exaggerated response often points towards pituitary cause or normal function.
Got it. And briefly, some other key correlations we touched on.
Sure. Elevated growth hormone, or more reliably, elevated IGF-1, correlates strongly with acromegaly in adults and gigantism in children.
Okay.
For women, high FSH levels frequently correlate with menopause or primary ovarian failure.
Right.
A significantly elevated prolactin level, say over 200 or 300 ng/ml, is highly correlated with a pituitary adenoma, a prolactinoma.
Okay.
In women, high testosterone levels are often associated with polycystic ovarian syndrome, PCOS, or potentially viralizing tumors. Progesterone levels correlate with the menstrual cycle phase. They rise significantly after ovulation and stay high during pregnancy. Low levels can correlate with luteal phase defects or anovulation.
And estradiol.
Estradiol levels also correlate with the cycle, peaking just before ovulation and declining significantly with menopause. They're crucial for evaluating fertility and overall ovarian function. #outro.
Wow. Okay, what a journey through the body's internal messaging system. Seriously complex, but also incredibly elegant when you see how it fits together.
It really is.
From the, precise regulation of glucose that fuels every single cell to those intricate feedback loops governing our thyroid, parathyroid, and adrenal glands.
Yeah.
And even the hormones dictating growth and fertility, it truly is a marvel of biological engineering.
Indeed. We've really seen how each specific test, each measurement, provides a unique, often indispensable window into these complex processes. It allows us to understand the precise signals our body is sending.
Right, decoding the messages.
The real beauty is in the diagnostic power these tests offer when interpreted correctly. They help unravel conditions, pinpoint problems, and guide health decisions with remarkable clarity.
Absolutely. And I think understanding these tests isn't just about, memorizing numbers or normal ranges. It's really about appreciating the incredible intelligence of our own biology.
Well said.
It empowers you, the listener, to be a more informed participant in your own health journey, to ask the right questions and to truly start listening to your body's language. So as you reflect on this deep dive we've taken today, maybe consider this. If these subtle chemical shifts, these hormone levels and glucose readings, can tell us so much about our internal state, what other profound messages might our bodies be trying to convey if we just continue to learn how to truly interpret them?
A fascinating thought to end on. There's always more to learn about how our bodies communicate.